This video is one for the parents. Well, hi, I'm Courtney. Welcome to my channel where we discuss educational research one study at a time so that you can incorporate it into your practice. Today we're taking a veer away from the research and going to go into some practical tips for parents who are trying to help their children learn to read at home. In addition to being a teacher and researcher, I am a parent. I have a decent number of children and I have gone through the process of teaching children to read, and I'm still going through the process. And so I have a few tips and tricks that I have learned along the way. This is going to be a series on my channel because there's a lot to cover and a lot of different things that are possible to do. Like always, if you have strategies that are working for you, keep on going. But if you're sitting there going, I need to teach my kid to read, and the way that I'm reading with my children doesn't look like it does on Instagram or on Pinterest or anywhere else, then stick around because it doesn't look like that in my house either. And I have some approaches that I think might be useful for you if things haven't worked out in the past. So today's video, we're going to talk about the first 5 tips I have for you. Number 1, if your school is using whole language, so think of things like PM Benchmark, Fontes and Pinnell, Lucy Calkins. If you hear those words buzzing around, then write to your school board and make sure that you ask for phonics-based instruction because that is what the research says is the most valuable. So you're going to have to ignore what's happening in the classroom for your child and really take matters into your own hands at home until your school board catches up with what needs to be taking place. I will include a sample letter in the description box below that you can just copy and paste and kind of fill in your own information to make it your own, and you can just send that off if you'd like. Remember, don't blame the teachers because they are only doing what they're allowed to do in the classroom. Unless your school has a phonics-based approach and they're ignoring what they're supposed to be doing, then that's a whole different issue. Number 2 is to get yourself some decodable books. I'm a fan of the ones that introduce just a few letters at a time, and then all the words in the book have those letters. So then children learn their letters, they can practice putting them together to make words. And then the next set of books introduces more letters and it builds from there. And the books then naturally get more complex because there's a greater number of letters that can be chosen from. The big thing is that the books are able to be sounded out. All of the words in the books you can sound out going letter by letter. So you can make each sound and then blend them together to make the word. I'm not going to recommend a specific set of decodable books because I'm not here to advertise any kind of company or anything like that. But there are free resources available. If you Google free decodable books, there are people who have created them, probably because they don't get given the proper resources in their schools. It's an option. So there's a lot of free stuff out there, and there's things that teachers have made that you can pay a very small fee to get, or you can go on Amazon and search decodable books or any other book publishing site and get books that way. Number 3, we need to demystify the reading process for students. It gets built up as this really hard thing that only grown-ups can do, and you can't do it until you're however smart. But I think we need to give children some confidence here and really demystify it and say, hey, if you know your letters, some of them even, if you know 6 letters and 6 sounds, we can work with that. All you have to do is say the sounds faster and faster together. And then show them, model it. Say it, sit, 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 sit. Oh, the word says sit. What does sit mean? Oh, it means what we're doing right now. We're sitting. Okay, so it doesn't have to be this big, complex activity that gets done. It's something that anyone can do as long as they know a few sounds. So show your children that it's just putting sounds together. That's all reading is, putting sounds together and then figuring out what that word could mean. All right, number 4, when you come across some sight words. So these are words that are tricky to sound out. You can't really sound them out so well. It's okay to show your child what the word is. Research shows, I have this linked in a whole series here, where research shows that introducing the first 100 most common sight words for children isn't going to undo what we're practicing from a phonics-based perspective. So what you can do is say, oh, THE, that word is the. Whenever you see THE together like this is one word, that means the, so just say the and have them practice it back. THE, what does that say? The. Excellent. What I like to do is when I come across a word like that I've told them is just, that's what the word is, I circle it. So I point to every word on the page that we're reading and then I kind of just circle it with my fingers so they recognize, oh right, I don't even need to sound this one out. It's the. And then that can just keep you moving along so that they feel like they're getting somewhere with the reading. Number 5, focus on what they are doing right rather than what they're doing wrong. So if a child is making a mistake, I like to just keep it going, keep everything positive and say, oh, close, excellent. Let's actually just come over here to this end of the word and sound it out together, and just reminding them that we're sounding out, we're starting from this end and we're sounding out sound by sound, and then move on. Not every mistake needs a lecture, so keep it positive and keep it going. Thanks so much for watching. The next video will have even more tips and tricks for parents who are trying to help their children read.